time with the clock.
So we were not very creative, so we are the A team.
Nice. You're the A team, okay.
And we were doing the front desk office application use or experience. And from what we've seen, we see that it needs to be less clunky in a way of accessing it by the user. So we put there ease of access and use in the form of a quick way of logging in authentication, which we're already kind of doing some of it, but we're going to take it to the next level and use biometrics. And as far as use the data, we need to be moving more to the cloud, software as a service, and for the end devices, use VDI. In that way, we could probably implement a consistent interface across platforms so that they can be used on different mobile devices. And we're talking at one point, maybe even get to the point to where we can do what Apple does or has been doing for a while, which is that transparency when you move from device to device, the iPhone and the iPad.
Sure.
And the team also suggested using voice recognition as another user input to make things faster, or when your hands are busy doing something else. And also between there a Kinect interface, which I think cardiology was using at one point, or somebody was using it, right? The whole gesture and
which is hand motions, yeah, absolutely.
yeah. How do we support it? Well, we don't.
No?
Yeah, we didn't get to work on that.
Okay.
But on the secure side, well, we have to rely on the whole cloud, whatever the cloud offers as far as security. And that's the challenge, the tricky part. Because once you put it in the cloud, pretty much the data is, they think that it belongs to them, right? And whatever.
So making sure that we still own it. How does that feel, the part where you have, so a user comes in and they're able to log in to the device. So are you thinking, so let's say I pull Epic up on a WoW workstation in the middle of my session. Are you thinking then that I can also pull that up on my mobile phone and I'm still in the same session, or other applications? Or?
Yeah.
So it moves with me as I go.
We've seen the demos. That's great.
You guys have any questions?
Yeah, actually, Microsoft is doing that Outlook.com. So at home, I have multiple devices, multiple computers. So if I have my ID with that Outlook and I move to my other computer, the profile moves to my other computer with Windows 10.
Very cool. And then what about the gestures? So when would you use the hand gestures? Can you think of a scenario that you would see our caregivers or? Yeah,
caregivers probably in the patient rooms. Yeah.
What type of gesture did you guys talk through that? Just trying to think of a gesture scenario.
PG-13 gestures.
I'm sorry?
PG-13 gestures.
Oh.
Not all the time.
So boss, when we went to HIMSS this year, they had that. They had the physician had a heads-up on display. When he came up to a patient, it automatically pulled that patient's chart, and he was on the screen. They were showing that he would flip through, check the BP. So they already kind of had that as a.
They're the right, yeah, the right mindset. So what would have to be true for us to be able to implement that type of technology? So how could we be successful in 3 to 4 years? What do we have to start thinking about now to start creating that experience?
We're building the whole mobility around the wireless, right? So we've been spending a lot of money there and a lot of technology and expanding it and growing it. I guess the current flavor of wireless has to mature, or not mature, but improved so it can support more devices transparently, different brands, different flavors.
Yeah, a strong infrastructure, a lot of integration, like maybe a Siri like feature where a lot of people don't know what to say when they call search us. Maybe they can talk into their device, say, hey, I have a broken this and that.
That's interesting.
And it directs them to the right line, maybe biomed.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah. Okay. So A-team, right? Good job.
Excellent.